Alright, everybody. Welcome back to Major Movies and TV, and today we're going to be talking about the new 2022 Sylvester Stallone movie, Samaritan, that just came out on Amazon Prime. Just going to do a hopefully quick review and synopsis of the movie. I'm going to start out doing a non-spoiler review and then move into spoilers when I feel necessary. So, in terms of non-spoilers, I'd say it's a solid movie. Not anything crazy, not anything too amazing, but it got its point across, the characters were solid, I didn't have any issues, the action scenes were alright. I mean, it didn't annoy me, so it didn't bore me, it kept me entertained the whole time. It was just a solid movie. Just a solid, average, good movie. You know, like, it's just if you like superhero movies, you'll probably like this movie. It's not like an MCU DC movie where there's tons of crazy stuff going on, CGI, everything, you know? It's just a more down-to-earth superhero movie, kind of like stuff we got back in, like, the 2000s, you know? Like Daredevil and stuff like that, where it's not some huge thing. It's just a solid superhero movie, you know? It's better written than Daredevil. You know, I wasn't comparing it to Daredevil. I'm just saying it wasn't like a huge thing, you know, like the MCU and the DC films do today. It's just, and it's an original superhero movie as far as I'm concerned. This isn't connected to anything. It's just a superhero movie, which is pretty cool. I wish with the overabundance of superhero movies these days, how come there hasn't been any original superheroes made recently? Like, not in Marvel or DC. Like, it'd be awesome to see a Spawn movie, a better Hellboy movie, like, stuff like that, you know? A comic accurate, you know, TMNT movie that's actually, like, kind of dark. I know that would probably never happen, but that'd be kind of cool. You know, stuff like that. It's, like, original stuff, not... I know maybe TMNT and all that isn't exactly original, but it's not an interconnected universe with everything, you know? And in general, I wish people made more new superheroes. Why do we keep rehashing the same superheroes over and over again? Write a comic with a new superhero in it that isn't trash. Please. Why hasn't anyone made the next Spider-Man? I get it, Stan Lee was a great writer and everything, but there has to be something. There has to be someone out there willing to write a good superhero movie, not based off anything else, you know? And this is a solid movie, a solid story. Nothing bugged me about it. It's a solid movie. It entertained me for 2 hours and it was done. Granted, it's not the best thing ever, but it wasn't bad either. Sylvester Stallone, he does pretty well considering he doesn't have a whole lot of dialogue. And the kid, Javon Walton, I liked him in Umbrella Academy Season 3, and I liked him here. He's a pretty good kid actor, you know? He's able to convey emotions, and granted, sometimes he could be a little annoying with how energetic he is, but if he's supposed to be playing a kid, it's kind of expected, you know? But yeah, the kid did good. The villain, played by Pilo Aspask, Edwin's the character. He's solid, you know, nothing crazy, but nothing horrible. Kind of the same old, like, oh, the villain was really the good guy type of thing. Like he was like, oh, we were in the right the whole time as the villains, you know? That sort of thing. So that's kind of overplayed at this point. It'd be kind of nice to get like a super villain that isn't just like, oh, we were right the whole time, you know, type of thing. Like, it'd be nice if that message was kind of implied with the things they do and say and not outright told to you. Like I expect villains kind of just do things and believe they're in the right, and they don't have to announce it to everyone and try to get everyone on their side. They just kind of do it. I like that. I like when a villain is like that. Um, and if they accrue an audience of people to follow them, then it happens naturally, not just because they want it. They're like trying to get it. It's a lot cooler that way. It feels a lot better when a villain is just kind of doing villain things, and then people are like, oh, maybe they're right, and then follows them, like Thanos. You know, Thanos just believed he was doing the right thing. He kept doing it, and then that was it. Like, he didn't try to convince anyone else. He was just doing it. He was just doing his thing. So, yeah, I kind of wish the villain maybe was a little bit better, but it wasn't horrible. It wasn't annoying or anything. Other than that, the mom character, played by Dasha Polanco, pretty good. A good mom, you know. She was written decently. She wasn't an overly annoying mom character, or like anything crazy. But you know, she was solid. She wasn't in the movie a whole lot, but she did her job. She did her mom stuff, so that was cool. But yeah, so characters overall solid, not too crazy, but not annoying. The Sam and, you know, Sylvester Stallone character. Well, Sam is the character played by Javon Walton. Both of those, you know, they carry the film pretty much. You know, you kind of have to root for both of them. Sylvester Stallone obviously was a little bit better than, a bit better than Javon Walton at acting, but overall, neither of them did anything that outright annoyed me or anything like that, or made me get, like, not bored or anything like that. The setting, you know, it's mainly in this like ghetto-ish area. You know, a lot of drugs and other gang-related activities going on, a lot of poverty. You know, the setting was cool, different for, I guess sort of different for a superhero movie, but not too different. And then other than that, the action scenes were pretty cool, although there aren't a lot of them. There's not a lot of action in this superhero movie, which kind of sucks, but the scenes that were there were solid. You know, nothing crazy, but nothing, like, boring or anything. The ending, the final fight there, the best action scenes of the movie, but, again, it's not anything too crazy. The story and dialogue was solidly written. Again, no characters said anything that outright annoyed me, but it could have maybe been a little bit better, but I feel like it was just kind of accurate to human interactions with each other, especially in poor neighborhoods. You know, the way they talked and everything, it kind of made sense. No one's super articulate or anything, but they're kind of just thugs for the most part. And I'm not saying everyone that lives in a poor neighborhood is a thug. I'm just saying, like, the area and all the characters were essentially kind of thugs in this movie. But yeah, other than that, yeah, that was pretty much it for non-spoilers. I'd say if you got Amazon Prime, watch the movie. If you like superhero movies, get Amazon Prime and watch the movie. If you don't like superhero movies, you probably won't like this one. This is not going to be the movie that, you know, convinces you that you like superheroes now. It's not. It's just a solid movie if you already like superhero movies. So, yeah, that's my non-spoiler review for Samaritan. If y'all have your own comments, let me know down below. And I'm going to be talking about spoilers now. So if you don't want to get spoiled for Samaritan, don't keep watching the video. I'm talking about spoilers now. This is your warning. You know, if you don't want to be spoiled, don't keep watching. Alright, so now we're getting into spoilers. So, the movie starts out following Javon Walton's character, Sam. He's obsessed with this Samaritan guy because later on in the movie, it's explained that Samaritan saved his dad at one point, and his dad is now dead. So he's obsessed with Samaritan. He wants to be like the Samaritan, and the Samaritan is essentially this city's superhero. There were two brothers that were born with super strength, Samaritan and his brother Nemesis, and Nemesis turned out to be the bad guy in the story. And what happened was Nemesis wanted to destroy the power plant. He had a plan, and he created this hammer that is the only thing that could hurt Samaritan or Nemesis, because they're both equally strong. So Nemesis made this super hammer, essentially. So yeah, and it's believed that both of them died in an explosion, but some people think the Samaritan is still alive. So yeah, that's that. So this kid Sam, he's getting evicted from his home. His mom can't afford rent. She's struggling, and he's trying to find ways to make money. And eventually, what he does is these thug kids on the streets. He tries to help them rob a gas station and to get some money, essentially. Before I get into that, though, there's one other character I should mention. It's Sam's friend. I don't recognize who exactly played this friend, but he wasn't even in the movie a whole lot, so I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know who this friend was. I can't find his actor or anything like that. I don't remember his name, really. I don't think they said it much. But Sam has this friend that helps him strip wire from a wall and goes sell it to a garage, like a dump place, so to sell copper. And then these thug kids that are there I don't even know if they're kids. I don't know their age. They seem kind of like young 20s or something, but they also kind of seem younger. I couldn't really tell. They're beating up this 12-year-old kid for the whole movie, so I gotta assume they're young, but they could just be assholes, so I don't know. But they get Sam to help them rob this store. They try to get lottery tickets, but then once they get the lottery tickets, they realize the store clerk tricked them and filled a box that says lottery tickets full of chips. So yeah, that's that. And then they bring it to the boss guy, which is the bad guy of the movie, Edwin, played by Pilo Asbake, something like that. And he pretty much tells him, you fucked up. And yeah, and he gives Sam $200. He's like, this is for what you tried to do today, and this is what you will do for me later on. So he gives Sam the money. Sam is able to, not get evicted for now. And then, they're living. And then he didn't rat on the thug kids for failing, but they still don't like him, So they try to beat him up in an alley. They try to beat Sam up in an alley. And what happens is Sylvester Stallone, aka Samaritan, he sees the kid getting beat up and he wrecks the thugs. He wrecks them, throws them around like they were nothing. Some guy tries to stab him and he literally crushes the knife in his hand. One of the few action scenes in this movie. It's not really an action scene though, it's more or less just him beating these guys' asses. But so yeah, he saves Sam. Sam now thinks he's the Samaritan, and he is later confirmed to be the Samaritan, but Sam is asking him questions and everything like that, trying to find out more about him. He ends up breaking into his house and stealing his scrapbook full of Samaritan notes and stuff like that, newspaper stuff. And I did like this scene in the movie where after he steals the notebook, the scrapbook, he Sylvester Stallone, he comes looking for it. He's called Joe in the movie, so I'll call him Joe. Joe comes looking for it. He finds out the kid took it. Sam gives it back to him, and then he tells the mom, like, and then the mom's like, no, he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He's just messed up right now. And then Joe's like, no, I get it. You're a good mom. And then he walks away, and it's like, all right, that was cool. That was a cool scene. Give the mom some credit here. The mom is trying. The mom is a decent mom throughout the movie. She never does anything stupid or neglectful or anything. Kind of feels like she actually loves her son. The only issue is she's barely in the movie. So, there's that. But yeah, so Sam keeps hanging out with Joe. At one point, Joe is... Oh, this part. He kind of confirms to Sam that he's Samaritan when the thugs, after they get beat up by him, they hit him with a car, and then he fixes all of the bones in his body, and he's like, oh, you're the Samaritan, I knew it. No way you could just get back up after getting hit by a car and all your bones are broken, so he has to, essentially confirm that, yeah, I'm the Samaritan, which we'll get to the twist at the end later. But yeah, he's pretty much like, yeah, me and my brother, if our bodies get too hot, our heart stops. So we need to eat ice cream and take showers, which was kind of a weird thing, but I get it, whatever. It's kind of a weird weakness, we get too hot and then we can't do anything. But whatever, it's a weakness that he has. So then after that, the bad guy here and his crew, they get a hold of the hammer that Nemesis made, and the guy Edwin essentially pretends to be the Nemesis. He gets the whole community riled up because they're all poor, and then they start rioting, and the riots are progressively getting worse throughout the movie until there's one point where, like, everyone's kind of destroying the city and stuff, and then what happens is the thugs tell the guy Edwin about how the Samaritan is back, thinking he's the Samaritan, and then Edwin sends out his crew to go take care of him to see if he really is, and then they follow him into an alley. And then there's another fight scene where Joe, Sylvester Stallone, fights this crew of people. He wrecks them, pretty badly. Solid scene. And then they set off a grenade near this little girl. So he grabs the girl and runs out of the alley. And he jumps over a car and picks it up and like uses it as a shield to shield him and the girl from the grenade, and a lot of people videotape it and send it off to the news, and then all of a sudden it's a big story. So yeah, pretty much his secret is out. He is super powered at the very least. So he's like, oh, I gotta skip town, I gotta get out of here, I gotta keep my identity secret or whatever. And then yeah, so after that point, what happens is Edwin goes to search his apartment since he beat up all of his men, and while he's doing that, he's like shooting up the apartment, and Sam and his mom are in the apartments across the street, and and Edwin sees them, and he's like, oh, the kid is gonna know something, so he kidnaps the kid, and his mom, like, beats up his mom or whatever. He takes the kid back to his lair, and then what happens is Joe, I think he goes back because he promised to fix Sam's watch that his dad gave him. So, because he likes fixing things, he's like, he's into that. It's like his meditation or whatever. So he goes to give the watch back, and then he finds the mom beat up and stuff, and then he realizes Sam has been kidnapped. So he goes to, get Sam. In the movie, he's a dump truck driver, like he's a garbage man. So he steals a dump truck, fills it up with gasoline, and then drives it into the villain's lair. And then he's standing there. He's like surrounded by people, and he just destroys them all. As a superhero does. But then Edwin, the bad guy in the movie, he has the hammer. So he starts fighting, and he's like gloating while beating Joe's ass, with the hammer. He's got the upper hand, but then Joe blows up the dump truck full of gasoline. It kills a bunch of people. And then, the bad guy is like, all right, now I'm going to finish you. And he goes to kill him. And the bad guy keeps calling him the good guy. Oh, you're the good guy. I'm the bad guy. You're the good guy. I'm the bad guy. And this is where the twist comes in. There's a twist in this movie. It's not a super obvious twist, though. I didn't mind it. It didn't, I didn't guess it. I kind of was like, I thought it was just a superhero that lost his superhero edge to him. Like, he didn't want to help people anymore. I didn't think that it was going to be a supervillain trying to not be a supervillain anymore story. Because turns out Joe isn't the Samaritan, he's Nemesis. And apparently when people thought Samaritan died, when people thought they both died, apparently only Samaritan died. He was hanging off a cliff on a broken building, and Nemesis didn't save him, so he ended up dying. And so Nemesis has stopped being a villain ever since then. He's just been kind of living alone. So yeah, Sylvester Stallone is actually technically the bad guy. And he's the one that made the hammer. So what happens is he pretty much like grabs the hammer with his fist, and he looks at him. He goes, "You keep calling me the good guy, but I'm the bad guy." And he just grabs the hammer from him or whatever he does, and starts beating his ass. But then he ends up getting away. So while Joe, aka the Nemesis, is fighting off everyone in the biggest action scene in the movie, Edwin takes Sam to the top of the building. The building is like on fire at this point, falling apart, and Edwin handcuffs Sam to a pipe on the top floor of the building. And then what happens is Nemesis, aka Joe, aka Samaritan, whatever, he goes up there after kicking everyone's ass, and then he goes to fight off Edwin again while the building is like burning down. One thing about this scene though, how come none of the characters were even coughing? Not even Sam. He didn't even cough. There's smoke and flames everywhere. No one's coughing. They're just walking around in his like burning building. No one's coughing about the smoke. That was a little weird. I noticed that. No one coughed. Like, not even once. No one coughed. It was very weird. Like, that's like a simple thing to put in the movie to make it, seem semi-realistic at least. You make people cough when they're surrounded by flames and smoke. But, it is what it is. So that happens. So he fights the Edwin. He ends up getting the upper hand, and he wraps the hammer around him, and then he throws him into a pit of fire and kills him. And I feel like they made this twist in the movie where Joe is actually the Nemesis, mainly because they wanted him to kill these guys, but they knew if they made him the superhero, he wouldn't have killed them. He would have just, like, knocked them out like Batman or whatever. So I feel like they had to make that twist in the movie just so he could justify killing someone and killing a ton of people, because he kills a lot of people in this movie, at the end. So that's kind of like I feel like that, because literally that twist comes at the same time as him starting to want to kill people. He's like, yo, I'm done. I want to kill all you, so guess what? I'm the bad guy. And then he just, like, starts killing people. So, which, I don't think a superhero should have to, like, not want to kill people. Some people, they need to die. It's the way it is, if you got a good reason and you're very certain that this dude is the bad dude, well, then you gotta kill him off. It is what it is. It is what it is. People kill each other every day. But yeah, so, Joe ends up saving Sam. He runs out of the building and jumps out of it into another building with Sam in his arms. He ends up saving Sam. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much it. He kind of goes off in the shadows. He tells Sam pretty much like the whole moral of the story is there's good and bad in everyone. There are no good and bad guys. It's just everyone has good and bad in your heart, and it's what you choose to do. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much that. And then he disappears, and then Sam comes out of the building. He starts talking on the news like, yeah, that was Samaritan. Samaritan saved me, just to give the city, like, hope and stuff, so that they don't riot and destroy the city more, essentially. And, yeah, that was it. Sam just kind of goes on to live his life, I guess. Yeah, so it was a solid movie. The idea was alright, The hero is really a villain who doesn't really want to be a villain anymore. It's been done before, but I liked it. Sylvester Stallone pretty much carried this movie. I feel like if it was anyone else, it wouldn't have been as, like, entertaining. But because it was Sylvester Stallone and he's a good actor, he pretty much carried the whole movie. He really carried that whole, like, vibe of a crotchety old superhero, supervillain, and he was good. I liked him. It'd be cool to see Sylvester Stallone in a different superhero movie, something a little more high budget, something a little bit better, and not that this movie was necessarily bad, it's just, it'd be cool to see him be a superhero, a different superhero, something, like, cooler, like, because in this movie he's got super strength and he heals very well. That's his whole super set, that's his superpower set. So it'd be cool to see him kind of have different superpowers, something different, cooler, a little more technical with it. Not technical, a little more like complicated, not just, oh, I'm strong and I heal well, like I could take bullets, I'm a tank. Like, it's like, it's kind of like 80s action hero on steroids type superhero, It'd be cool to have him be able to do something else. I don't even know what, but just something a little cooler. But other than that, the writing was solid for the movie. It was an alright movie. I liked it. I probably won't watch it again, but it wasn't bad. It didn't waste my time. So, if you like superhero movies, I suggest you check this out. If you have Amazon Prime, I suggest you check this out. If you don't like superhero movies, it's probably not for you. It's not like an A-tier superhero movie or anything, but it's solid enough. I'd say about B-tier. B-tier superhero movie carried by Sylvester Stallone. If you're a Sylvester Stallone fan, I'd say check it out. I feel like his performance pretty much carried the whole movie. So if you like Sylvester Stallone doing Sylvester Stallone stuff, I would suggest checking out the movie. But other than that, that's all I got to say about it, really. It's a solid mid-tier superhero movie. If you have your own thoughts on the movie, let me know in the comments below. And, everyone have a good day. Whoa, wait. Actually, this is me coming back from the future. I just realized there's a very important detail I missed about this movie that bugged me so much. It's very important that I tell you this This man, Sylvester Stallone, put apple juice in his cereal. He put apple juice in the cereal, my guys. Why? Why did he do this in this movie? I've never seen that before. I never want to see it again. He put apple juice in the cereal. My disappointment. You know what? Don't watch this movie. I forgot about that, and I just remembered it again. He put apple juice in his goddamn cereal. Do not watch this movie. I'm done. Okay, everyone have a good day now, knowing that Sylvester Stallone was eating cereal with apple juice in it. My man, I am so disappointed, actually. You know what? Forget everything I just said good about this movie. Don't watch it. This man put apple juice in his cereal. I'm done.